It was supposed to be a glamorous night. A-list guests, Michelin-level hors d'oeuvres, soft jazz playing under a moonlit Southern California sky. Everything about this setup screamed Netflix budget prestige. There were customized centerpieces with organic herbs, a live stream ready open kitchen, and place cards embossed with Meghan Markle's stylized logo, one that hinted at wholesome domesticity but whispered influencer chic. This wasn't just an event, it was a debut, a rebirth. Meghan, once a royal, once a Hollywood actress, once a global cause celeb, was about to reintroduce herself, this time as a culinary queen. But somewhere between the second glass of champagne and the first monologue, the magic dissolved. Within 15 minutes of her opening remarks, something was undeniably wrong. The energy dipped, polite smiles faded. Guests glanced at their watches, then came the first scrape of a chair, then another. By the time Meghan hit her third scripted punchline about learning to cook from YouTube, whole rows were gone. Not to the restroom, not discreetly, they were leaving. What was meant to be a soft launch of a new era became something else entirely, a public unraveling. The moment Meghan Markle's brand burned itself alive in real time under soft yellow lights on a night meant for legacy. Let's rewind. This wasn't a last-minute passion project. Insiders report that this cooking show had been months in the making. Market research had been done, pitches made, sizzle reels created. The show, tentatively titled Harvest Table with Meghan, was supposed to bring warmth, relatability, and an almost anthropology-like aesthetic to the streaming world. On paper, it ticked the boxes. Cooking content is evergreen. Female-led lifestyle brands are booming. Meghan has international name recognition, so why not? But there was one glaring issue. Meghan Markle cannot cook. This isn't conjecture, it's consensus. One behind-the-scenes caterer recalled a tasting session where Meghan insisted on presenting her own banana bread. It was so dry, the caterer joked, we thought it was a prop. Another claimed she confused cardamom with cumin and tried to fix it with maple syrup. That disconnect became the night's unspoken headline. As she shared personal stories of teaching Archie how to whisk, audience members whispered among themselves. Staffers traded looks. Her anecdotes, supposedly unscripted, felt robotic. Not awkward, but unearned. The laughter never quite landed, the warmth never reached the back row. Her speech had the glossy veneer of a TED Talk, but none of the grounding authenticity. The irony? Meghan had hired a Michelin consultant to help her find her culinary voice, but that voice never showed up. This moment wasn't an isolated incident. It was the culmination of a pattern. Meghan Markle has become something of a human startup. Since leaving the royal family in 2020, she's launched a podcast, Archetypes, co-produced documentaries, Harry and Meghan, dropped a children's book, The Bench, and now dipped her toes into lifestyle territory with the rebranded American Riviera Orchard. Each new endeavor arrives with carefully curated imagery, aspirational language, and all the trappings of a thought leader brand. And yet, nothing seems to stick. Archetypes started strong, but fizzled. Her Spotify deal collapsed. Netflix is quietly scaling back expectations. Even her lifestyle website has been plagued by inactivity and tone-deaf product drops, like $130 jars of jam no one asked for, sent to influencers who didn't post about them. So what's going wrong? Simple. There's no through line. Where figures like Gwyneth Paltrow or Martha Stewart built empires from lived experiences and consistent messaging, Meghan's projects seem like experiments in personal branding, each one scrapping a last, trying something new before real traction is made. She's not building a house, she's throwing paint at walls. When Harry and Meghan signed their multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix in 2020, it was framed as a win for both sides. The Sussexes would get a platform for impactful content, while Netflix scored the most talked-about couple on the planet. But 4 years in, insiders say the relationship is fraying. A documentary series, a shelved animated project, a nature series in limbo, a rumored tell-all that never materialized, and now this. The walkout at the cooking event wasn't just an embarrassment. It was a liability. Netflix executives were reportedly mortified that media coverage turned what should have been a harmless brand launch into a viral disaster. One exec allegedly asked, "How did we go from The Crown to this?" Streaming platforms survive on hits. Meghan and Harry promised hits. But the reality? They've delivered headlines, and not the good kind. The internet is unforgiving, but it's even crueler when it smells inauthenticity. Within hours of the event, clips began circulating on TikTok, YouTube, and X, formerly Twitter. Meghan's jokes were stitched next to blinking cringe reaction videos. Her outfit, a designer apron layered over a white blouse, was mocked as Etsy-core cosplay. Her attempt to flambe a pear tart drew so much laughter, not the good kind, that one user commented, "I didn't know this was a parody." Comments ranged from savage to surgical. This feels like if ChatGPT wrote a cooking show. Who asked for this? The only thing getting roasted here is Meghan's career. One tweet that amassed over 2 million views read simply, "She left the palace for this?" The message was clear. Meghan's attempt to pivot into domestic goddess territory not only failed, it shattered whatever mystique remained around her. Across the Atlantic, royal courtiers reportedly followed the event with what can only be described as smug detachment. "We advised restraint," one unnamed insider allegedly told a tabloid, "but she always believed she knew better." The royal family's relationship with Meghan has been strained at best, outright hostile at worst. But in this case, there was no need for retaliation. Meghan's cooking show fiasco was self-inflicted. And the silence from Buckingham Palace? Deafening. Not a word, not a mention, just enough distance to imply, "Told you so." What's especially ironic is that Meghan long claimed palace restrictions were what stifled her creativity, that if she were free, truly free, she'd thrive. Well, now she's free, and the results speak for themselves. Throughout the night, one thing became increasingly conspicuous. Harry wasn't there. Not in the front row, not in a pre-recorded video, not even a supportive Instagram post. Sources claim he was traveling or committed elsewhere, but in Hollywood speak, that often translates to strategic absence. Which raises questions. The Sussex brand was always a two-person act. Their popularity, however contested, stemmed from the image of solidarity. Us against the institution. Love conquers all. We're building something together. So what happens when Harry disappears? Are they diverging professionally or personally? Rumors of cracks in the marriage are multiplying. From solo appearances to separate project choices, the couple once glued at the hip are increasingly orbiting different planets. And if the Meghan brand falters without Harry's stabilizing presence, what does that say about its strength to begin with? More than cooking, more than performance, more than PR, this comes down to trust. Audiences can forgive flaws. They can even embrace failure, if it feels real. What they cannot tolerate is a sense of being sold something fake. And increasingly, Meghan Markle feels fake. The spontaneous moments don't feel spontaneous. The stories feel rehearsed. The passions feel pre-packaged. Remember the Oprah interview? Raw, candid, divisive, but emotionally charged. People responded to that because it felt like truth. But a $200 apron and a camera-ready kitchen staged to look authentic? That's not truth. That's a lifestyle ad. And the problem with selling a lifestyle is, people have to want it. Right now, they don't. If there was a canary in the coal mine, it might have been jam. Earlier this year, Meghan's team sent out personalized jars of jam from her new brand, American Riviera Orchard, to a select group of influencers. The hope? Organic buzz, viral love, soft pastel reels of toast and marmalade. What she got instead was silence. Only a handful posted. Most didn't mention it at all. A few mocked the price. One influencer allegedly regifted it to her housekeeper. The core problem? The branding didn't land. It was bougie without depth, pretty without story. expensive without explanation. And that, more than anything, sums up the current crisis. So, where does Meghan Markle go from here? She still has a platform. She still has name recognition. She still has admirers, critics, and a press that cannot stop watching. But the runway is getting shorter. Hollywood doesn't reward second acts. It rewards success. And for all the talk of reinvention, there needs to be a foundation to build on. If Meghan wants to survive this moment, she'll need more than rebrands. She'll need honesty. Not vulnerability as performance, but actual, grounded, flawed, complicated humanity. Because the truth is, people don't hate her because she failed. They're turning because it feels like she never really tried, at least not as her real self. And in today's world, that might be the worst sin of all. As the final trays of hors d'oeuvres were cleared, as the lights dimmed on a night meant for reinvention, Meghan stood alone on stage, smiling, poised, unaware, perhaps, that the room had already moved on. In that image, still glowing, still perfectly styled, you see the entire story. A woman trying to sell the world something beautiful, without realizing the world has already tasted it and sent it back.